Sunday Riley's story is an interesting one. The controversial founder built her company up from a tiny unknown indie brand into a mainstream luxury skincare brand with a real cult following and fans all over the world. It's largely down to her that the company is where it is today, but she also seems to be the one who is slowly killing it. From award-winning products and celebrity fans to fake reviews and a CEO with questionable credentials, in today's video we'll delve into Sunday Riley's rocky history, what followers the brand love about it, and where their critics think they're going wrong. Chapter 1: Founding of the brand. Sunday Riley, the founder of the skincare brand which shares her name, has said she's always been interested in two things: science and skincare. In an interview for Vogue Australia, she said, "I've always had a passion for skincare. I've loved skincare since childhood. I grew up on old movies and watched all Marilyn Monroe's films by the age of 11. When I was 12, I read that she had started using anti-wrinkle cream at the same age. So I hopped on my bike against her parents' wishes and rode to the pharmacy and bought a $10 jar of pink face cream." She said, "I cherished every drop and was instantly mesmerized by skincare." That's a really young age to start. She was the original Sephora kid by the sounds of it, and driven by her love for skincare and desire to understand it, Riley later went on to attend the University of Texas, where she studied chemistry. After leaving university, it would be some time before she actually launched her own brand, but she did continue to pursue her goals in the beauty world in general, apparently working in product development and formulation within the skincare industry for many, many years. She said that it was actually through this hands-on experience, working with cosmetic labs and learning about skincare formulation, that she developed a deeper understanding of ingredients, product creation, and how the skincare industry actually worked. Now, it wasn't until her early 30s when Riley decided to go out on her own. She said that she had the idea of her brand after noticing that there was a lack of brands focusing on green technology, she called it, in the skincare industry. Now, green technology is a term she coined, and according to her, it's the combination of science-based active ingredients with botanicals, which we love. Don't get me wrong, I love a good mix of both science and nature. She actually noticed that many existing brands and products focused on clean beauty, but weren't very effective, or were effective but were filled with harsh chemicals, she says. So she wanted to create something that was clean and effective. You know how I feel about those words. She wanted something that would deliver immediate and visible results, but without the harmful ingredients. I don't need to do this anymore, you know how I feel. Riley spent years researching and formulating products herself, ensuring that each one contained potent active ingredients like lactic acid and retinoids, along with natural extracts. Now, her focus was on creating skincare products that balance natural botanicals with high-performance science-based ingredients. She even moved back in with her parents during this time, something that can't have been easy for her to do in her 30s with a 3-year-old child and pregnant with another, but she knew it was necessary if she was going to pursue her career, her business dreams, and she said that her parents were actually a massive help while she was trying to get her fledgling company off the ground, and I can see that. Like, you know, whilst you're trying to do something like that, you've got kids as well, you're trying to raise a family, you need that family support system around you, right? The sacrifice was definitely worth it though, because in 2009, Riley launched her brand Sunday Riley Modern Skincare, which everyone just calls Sunday Riley because the name is ridiculously long and weird, to be honest. Not very good, Modern Skincare. The brand launched with a line of 5 products, and most of those are still to this day some of her most popular. Good Genes, which is a lactic acid product, which has gone on to become one of her most iconic products and most loved products, really. Bionic, which is an anti-aging cream that incorporates ingredients like antioxidants and peptides to target fine lines, wrinkles, and skin firmness. Juno, a nourishing facial oil that featured a blend of cold-pressed seed oils rich in antioxidants and essential fatty acids. And Stimulant 1 and Stimulant 2, which were treatment serums aimed at improving skin texture, firmness, and radiance. Stimulant 1 focused on boosting skin vitality, while Stimulant 2 targeted at aging and dullness with more intensive ingredients. Now, these initial products were designed to lay the foundation for the brand's identity as a clean, yet highly effective skincare line. But it took some time for the brand to gain any traction really in the market. When their big break came through though, it was definitely a little out of the ordinary. Most indie brands get their start selling online, right? Or in small boutiques, or nowadays on TikTok Shop. But Sunday Riley's first foray into the market was with luxury department store Barney's. This move gave her instant access to high-end clientele and positioned the brand as a luxury offering from the start. That was a very, very good start to the brand. It's not easy to get into a retailer of that level with an unknown brand, but Riley had curated everything about the products from the names to the packaging and formulations in order to appeal to the luxury market. So this was her plan all along. Her products also aligned with the growing demand among consumers for brands that were clean and sustainable. You know, she kind of got into that sustainable, clean, organic kind of market that was really, really big back then, not only just in beauty, but in food and lifestyle. But according to Sunday Riley herself, the biggest part was that Barney's beauty buyers were particularly impressed with the efficacy of her formulations. They launched the brand in 3 locations, with Barney's Beverly Hills, New York, and Chicago being the first 3, which is again insane. Riley was told that she had 6 months to prove that they could get the level of sales required, or Barney's would cancel their agreement, which is kind of standard. I've heard that with brands in Sephora as well, that kind of works the same way. But if they did manage to make it work, then Barney's would roll out the brand to all 10 of their locations. Chapter 2: Initial Growth. Whilst landing a spot at Barney's was a significant achievement, Sunday Riley's products didn't exactly fly off the shelves immediately. At first, sales were slow. They were an independent, unknown brand in a highly competitive, saturated market and with a luxury price point. So customers were reluctant to spend that much on a brand they never really heard of before or never had seen anybody use before. But sales were slowly starting to increase, and the turning point finally came as their products, especially Good Genes, started to gain a cult following. Beauty editors, influencers, and early customers who tried the products began sharing their positive experiences, with many, just like the Barney's beauty buyers, being particularly impressed by the efficacy of the products. And it really was word of mouth that began to spread. And as mentioned, Good Genes was the standout product for the brand. It was designed to exfoliate, brighten the skin using lactic acid, and it soon became a cult favorite and one of the most talked about beauty treatments, I guess you can say, in beauty circles. Now, before long, plenty of celebrities, bloggers, and skincare enthusiasts swore by the product, helping to grow the brand's visibility and build its reputation as a brand that delivered visible and pretty quick results, according to the reviews. And this is something Riley has said was always a key focus for her brand. As I mentioned in her Vogue Australia interview, she said, when talking about her products, it has to work really well, better than anything else. Rather than focusing on what is trending in the industry, we create products that fill a void in the market, solve a problem, and make it the most effective solution possible. She says, I always remove ego from my work. If a product doesn't perform or the customer doesn't love it, no matter how much I believe in it, I cut it from the range. She says, we always start with the skin and a problem to solve. Efficacy and results are at the heart of everything we do. Now, over time, Sunday Riley introduced more products that really resonated with customers, such as the Luna Sleeping Night Oil and Tidal Brightening Enzyme Water Cream. These products complemented their already hugely now popular lineup and gave customers more options to build a full skincare routine around Sunday Riley products alone. But despite the brand's steadily growing popularity, it wasn't all plain sailing. Riley has said that the lack of available capital to invest in inventory really held back their growth in early years. And it actually wasn't until 2011, 2 years after launching, that the company became finally profitable. And this was in large part due to the rise of social media, especially Instagram, which launched in 2010. And this is where I first heard of Sunday Riley, was actually YouTube reviews and Instagram. Sunday Riley's simple but sophisticated packaging and unique products with interesting names made it extremely popular amongst Instagram influencers and beauty bloggers who played a significant role in Sephora in promoting the brand's image as a luxury skincare line that was effective above all else, and, making it really seem like it was worth its luxury price point. In that same Vogue Australia interview, Riley said, "We hit this momentum, and I think what happened is that we hit this critical mass of people trying the brand, and with social media, they were all sharing it with each other and talking to their siblings, friends, family members, and work colleagues. We weren't investing in influencers. It was just people organically trying it and talking about it." Which is true. I don't ever really remember seeing a sponsored Sunday Riley post back in the day. It was all simply word of mouth. And the brand did continue to grow, as I mentioned, mainly through free word of mouth marketing, and within 2 more years, they reached another major milestone. Until this point, they had been mostly available in Barney's and a few other little luxury boutiques, but in 2013, they sourced a partnership with Sephora, which greatly expanded the brand's reach, giving them access to Sephora's huge customer base and positioning it as a mainstream luxury skincare brand. The launch in Sephora helped significantly boost the brand's visibility and sales, of course, and that increased exposure took Sunday Riley's popularity to a whole other level. They went from a niche luxury product line in Barney's to a mainstream beauty name, and over the next few years, they cemented themselves as one of the most sought after luxury brands on the market, with a long list of celebrity fans from the likes of Victoria Beckham, Drew Barrymore, and Paris Hilton, and even Oprah. I feel like I'm always saying those names in those videos. If it was Jennifer Aniston, I feel like they all very much love this kind of niche luxury mainstream branding. After this partnership, Riley was finally able to move her company headquarters out of her room in her parents' house and into a vintage car garage, which she shared with the owner of the garage, who continued working on cars at the same time. And when it became apparent that things weren't going to slow down anytime soon, they moved again. This time to a converted school, which gave them all the space they needed to run the brand, and its operations continued to grow at pretty much a scary rate, not without a little help from Sunday Riley herself. Chapter 3: Faking Reviews. Although the partnership with Sephora was a huge break for Sunday Riley and propelled them into the mainstream, it would also play a part in their biggest controversy to date. By 2018, the brand had firmly found its place in the mainstream market and continued to enjoy a cult-like following across social media, where they leveraged influencer marketing to great effect. That was until the Federal Trade Commission announced it had launched an investigation into the company after it was revealed that the employees of the brand had been instructed to post fake reviews of Sunday Riley products on Sephora's website. A whistleblower who had previously worked for the company posted this information on Reddit, which led to the investigation. In their Reddit post, they started by saying, "This is a throwaway account because Sunday Riley is majorly vindictive. I'm sharing this because I am no longer an employee there, and they are one of the most awful places to work. But especially for people who shop us at Sephora, because a lot of the really great reviews you are reading are fake. We were forced to write fake reviews for our products on an ongoing basis, which came direct from Sunday Riley herself and her head of sales." When the FTC looked into this claim, they actually found that between 2015 and 2017, Sunday Riley employees had been directed by managers, including Riley herself, to write glowing reviews of their products, as well as to dislike negative reviews of their products to make them less visible. The FTC released excerpts from the internal company emails, one of which shows Riley saying, "If you see a negative review, dislike it," all in capitals. "After enough dislikes, it is removed. This directly translates into sales." Sunday Riley employees, again including the founder, also created multiple accounts on Sephora using fake identities on a virtual private network in order to hide the company email addresses, according to the FTC. Apparently, Riley had noticed that Sephora was taking down their fake reviews because they had realized they were coming from the brand's IP and emails. So an email was sent out to staff which detailed instructions on how to install a VPN, so reviews were not traced back to the company's IP address. The email also offered advice on the type of content to include in the review, almost like a brief. The email sent by Riley was actually released by the FTC, and I won't read it in full because I have talked about this before, but this clearly wasn't just an off-the-cuff, silly idea she had one time, Her instructions to her employees were very detailed, and she was very clearly intent on deceiving both Sephora and her customers. customers. The email included her telling employees to create 3 different accounts on Sephora, all registered as different identities, to always leave 5 stars, and to be very enthusiastic without looking like a plant. She also told them what Sunday Riley products to focus on, and that they should review other brands' products as well, but no other skincare products, only makeup, color, and hair. If you want, you can pause to read. I have discussed this before. It's not too long. It'll take you like a minute to read. In another email, the account manager responsible for Sephora at Sunday Riley wrote, "Now that CEO is up, we need to make sure the reviews for the client stay positive. I think someone created a profile yesterday and already wrote a review. Only thing is it was a little premature as the product only launched yesterday and wouldn't have had arrived the same day. Credibility is key to the reviews. If everyone could write at least 3 reviews for CEO, which is one of their products, between Friday and next Tuesday." So they like were taking this really seriously. There were timelines, receipts, guidance, they had a structure to this. And this seemed to be something that happened fairly often when new products were launched, as when their Satin and Space Ring products were launched, the same account manager sent another similar email out, again telling all employees to write at least 3 positive reviews for both products and saying credibility is key to reviews, which I have to say is pretty ironic in this situation. They also went as far as to tell employees what to focus on in their reviews. For example, saying, when reviewing Satin, please address things like how cooling it felt, the green color, the non-drying mask effect, radiance boosting, got rid of your acne after a couple of uses. The biggest points of difference for this mask and the other acne masks are how this mask increases radiance and doesn't dry out the skin like all other acne masks do. It helps to make yourself seem relatable, like you know how hard acne is and you've tried everything. They go on to say you should mention things about like how, yes, it's so expensive, but this one actually works compared to all like the cheaper options out there. And they go on to say if you need any help with things to come up with and things to say, feel free to ask myself or Sunday herself or Addison. As reviews come in, read them too. If you notice someone saying things like, I don't like X about it, write a review that says the opposite. And when I look back at it, this is actually really shocking and like unacceptable behavior from a skincare brand, telling employees to pretend they know what it's like to have acne or these other skin conditions and how hard it was and how this is the only product that worked for them to cure their fake acne is so morally wrong. It's unbelievable. So this practice went on for almost 3 years, at least as far as we can tell or that we know of. It could have gone on for longer, could have been earlier than 2015, we just don't know. After completing their investigation, the FTC charged the company and Riley herself with 2 violations of the Federal Trade Commission Act. And those were 1, making false or misleading claims that the fake reviews reflected the opinions of ordinary users of the products, and 2, deceptively failing to disclose that the reviews were written by Miss Riley or her employees. It took over a year for the complaint to be settled, but eventually the FTC reached a proposed settlement that prohibited Sunday Riley, the company, and Sunday Riley employees from posting fake reviews in the future, which is so stupid. Of course, many weren't happy with the settlement at all, including myself, as the brand did not even have to admit any wrongdoing here, and they didn't really receive any form of punishment. They weren't even fined as part of the punishment. Pretty much everybody but the brand themselves were pretty outraged by this outcome. The evidence was substantial. The evidence was very clear. There was a good amount of it. Why would the brand not have to admit guilt? It's so weird. And then to be like, your punishment is not to post, you're not allowed to post fake reviews, which they should not have been doing anyway, is not a punishment. In fact, 2 out of the 5 FTC commissioners who oversaw the case voted against the proposed settlement and said that by not penalizing Sunday Riley or seeking financial redress, that this action does little to address the epidemic of fake reviews online. Rohit Chopra and Rebecca Kelly Slaughter of the FTC said in a separate statement, "This settlement sends the wrong message to the marketplace. Dishonest firms may come to conclude that posting fake reviews is a viable strategy given the proposed outcome here. Honest firms, who are the biggest victims of fraud, may be wondering if they are losing out by following the law. Consumers may come to lack confidence that reviews are truthful. Going forward, the FTC should seek monetary consequences for fake review fraud, even if the exact level of ill-gotten gains is difficult to measure. Sunday Riley and its CEO have clearly broken the law, and the commission has ordered that they do not break the law again. Now, in response to the controversy, Sunday Riley said that employees were encouraged to post fake reviews to push back against competitors who often posted negative reviews about their competitors. So they were saying that other brands were coming onto Sephora and making fake negative reviews. But this wasn't a good enough excuse for a lot of people, and this controversy caused a lot of damage to the brand's reputation, which hadn't been perfect up to that point anyway, but it was mostly positive, right? The thing is, they never mentioned these other fake negative reviews in any of the emails. From the emails, it just seemed like they were trying to build up hype whenever a new product was launched, nothing to do with other negative reviews. This was their first major controversy, and it brought a lot of attention to the brand, with many now taking a close look at the brand, their product claims, and even their founder. Chapter 4: Lying about her credentials. Now, rightly so, people started wondering how honest the company and its founder were after the fake review scandal came out in October of 2018. And less than a month later, Business Insider published an article that called Riley's own credentials into question. It gets weird. You may recall me saying earlier in the video that Riley studied chemistry at the University of Texas, which is what she has publicly stated in most of her interviews. In the Business Insider article, they pointed out that the Dallas Morning News wrote an article on her back in 2010, in which they said Riley's fascination with the native plants found on her family's land, combined with a University of Texas biochemistry degree, led her to create the brand. But in a profile by the Wall Street Journal in 2013, they reported that after studying chemistry at the University of Texas, Riley worked in a cosmetics lab. And in 2015, the Tidbits blog interviewed Riley, referring to her as a UT grad, University of Texas grad, who has used her science background to launch a career formulating high-quality skincare products. Now, during the interview, Riley did not mention studying science, but bizarrely said that she studied playwriting in London for many, many years. So when Business Insider looked into her claims further, they found that she did indeed attend the University of Texas between 1994 and 1996, but a representative for the university confirmed that she did not earn a degree there. And they added that although Riley attended the College of Natural Sciences at the university, she never even declared a major. Business Insider looked through 20 different interviews given by Riley and found that she generally avoided explicitly talking about her education. She was always very vague about the details when it came to talking about herself, but she never corrected anyone when they said that she had a chemistry degree or that she even graduated from the University of Texas. So when contacted by Business Insider, a representative for the Sunday Riley brand declined to comment on Riley's educational background. The article also pointed out that Riley regularly refers to herself as a formulator and a cosmetic chemist, terms that to the average consumer could imply a certain level of scientific education or a degree. Although Riley is apparently a member of the Society of Cosmetic Chemists, the type of membership that she has, there are membership levels, doesn't actually require any kind of degree. There's a separate level of membership for those with actual degrees. The organization actually offers two tiers of membership: an affiliate level that anyone can join, and a general membership for those who have a bachelor's degree in chemical, physical, medical, pharmaceutical, biological, or related sciences. And again, she's vague about the specifics of these titles and how she became a formulator or a cosmetic chemist. In an interview with Paper City magazine, she said, "I take formulation continuing education courses, belong to several cosmetic chemistry societies, and meet weekly with different ingredient suppliers to learn about the latest trends." And in an interview for The Cut, when they asked if she is a cosmetic chemist, Riley said, "A lot of what I know about cosmetic formulation, I actually learn on the job. I learn a lot by trial and error, take that as you will." What the fuck does that mean? Riley's story about how her own original products were formulated is also a confusing one. At various times, she and the company have said that she worked with a team of cosmetic chemists and a lead formulator, that it was just her and a team of chemists with no mention of another lead formulator, or that it was just her with no mention of a formulator or a team of chemists. So like who made these products? When Business Insider asked them about it. A representative for the brand confirmed that there was in fact a lead formulator that had helped Riley develop her line, but they declined to give his name. Many think that this seems a little bit suspicious. Like, why would you not want to name and give credit to somebody who played an apparently big role and big part in developing your early products? A little bit odd. The representative also said that of all the Sunday Riley products available now on the market, all the product formulations were written and developed by Sunday Riley herself as the lead and only formulator, with the exception of one existing product, which she co-developed with a master cosmetic chemist who is now deceased. To be fair, there are no regulations regarding the qualifications needed for someone to formulate cosmetic products, and technically cosmetic chemists are not required to earn a chemistry degree to work in the field, but most entry-level positions require applicants to have a degree as well as multiple years of experience. But it's not just Riley's qualifications that have come under scrutiny. People have also questioned her experience in the industry, as even details about her specific job roles or the company she's worked for before founding her own skincare brand are not widely available or publicly discussed. She has said in interviews that she worked with cosmetic labs and gained hands-on experience in the product formulation, but she hasn't revealed the names of the specific companies or her exact job titles. Sounds all like a bit of a story, and it's not necessarily whether or not Sunday Riley has any specific qualifications to call herself a formulator or a cosmetic chemist that her critics have an issue with. The issue is the lack of transparency and the vagueness surrounding all the details, the kind of secretive nature whenever they're asked about the exact details, as well as the fact that some feel like she is misleading her customers by using these scientific sounding titles to make them assume she has the qualifications that she doesn't. Surely, if you wanted to build credibility as a product formulator, founder of a skincare brand, you'd want to tell everybody about your relevant experience, right? And your expertise and your qualifications, if you have them. Like, why wouldn't you? There's no negative, there's no downside to doing that. But for a brand that claims to value and encourage transparency, there's a very noticeable lack of it when it comes to Riley's own history, education, and experience. Chapter 5. Some positives, but is it enough? Despite the pretty major controversies the brand has faced, Sunday Riley has still managed to maintain a cult following and remains a popular brand in the world of skincare. Fans of the brand have been willing to overlook their messy issues because many find their products to be more effective than most others. Fair enough, no judgy here. This isn't by accident, since the very start of the foundational concepts for Riley has been that she wants her products to be the most effective formulations on the market to provide fast, visible results. And plenty of people believe she succeeded in that. And again, despite all this, I do only ever hear really good things about the effectiveness of the products. In an article for Who, What, Where, beauty editor Shannon Lawler said that despite trying out new and innovative products almost constantly for her job, Sunday Riley is the brand she will always go back to. She says, "You see, unlike so many other skincare brands, Sunday Riley champions the idea that products should be fast acting and offer up immediate results." No products offer immediate results really, but we'll carry on. "And quite frankly, when my skin is in a bit of a state, this is all I want. When I have weeks worth of new products lined up, waiting to be slathered on my face, I certainly don't have the time to wait around for months to see if a product actually works." And that is the thing I love most about my collection of Sunday Riley products. Not only do they actually do what they say on the tin, but they do it fast. And Lawler isn't the only one who thinks this. Social media is full of influencers, celebrities, skincare enthusiasts who just love the brand. Like, they are constantly raving about the brand. In fact, Sunday Riley has won several awards for its skincare products over their years. Their Good Genes product, like I said, iconic, has won in the Allure Best of Beauty Awards multiple times, as well as winning several other awards. The Luna Sleeping Night Oil, CEO Brightening Oil, Tidal Brightening Water Cream, and several other products have also won awards for the brand on different multiple occasions. Fans of the brand also point to their strong sustainability record and their cruelty cruelty-free status. They are and have always been cruelty-free, as confirmed by PETA and Leaping Bunny. They are also B Corp certified, plastic neutral, and have a zero waste oil process. In 2022, they committed to collecting over 110,000 tons of plastic, equivalent to over 5 million plastic water bottles every year, and also support the Green Worms program, which prevents plastic from reaching landfill and creates jobs for over 300 women. The waste from their oil production is ground into seed powder and put into various nutritional supplements and plant proteins for animal and pet use. They purchase carbon credits to offset all of their freight shipments, the shipping carbon footprint for every e-commerce order, and their manufacturing process. They also switch to eco-friendly inks like soy and use Forest Stewardship Council approved materials for their boxes. Sunday Riley has also partnered with various charities, including Dress for Success, which is a non-profit organization that provides professional career attire, career development tools, and support to women in need to help them achieve economic independence. The brand has supported this organization through product donations and fundraising events as well. They also support the Breast Cancer Research Foundation with multiple fundraising efforts and product collaborations, where a portion of the proceeds from specific products or events have gone to breast cancer research. They also support Girls Who Code, which is an organization that aims to close the gender gap in technology by equipping young women with computing skills and fostering a supportive community. Sunday Riley has also supported this organization through donations and involvement in initiatives designed to promote women in tech. And through their Sunday Shares initiatives, they have also matched employee and customer donations to help protect the Amazon rainforest, donated to firefighters during the 2019 Australian bushfires, and donated $50,000 to the NAACP in 2020, partnered with It Gets Better, who organize rescue pet adoptions, donated bikes to children in need for Christmas, and many more. There's no question that Sunday Riley is doing a lot right, especially compared to some other beauty brands, but their issue is that controversies and criticisms just seem to keep piling up for the brand. Outside of the fake review scandal and the questioning of Riley's credentials, they've also experienced criticism around the quality of some of their products, with some of their customers complaining that their products had arrived discolored, out of date, or even rancid. Others had expressed concerns about the affordability and accessibility of the brand, especially when it comes to the high cost relative to the size of the products, and many have questioned whether the products really provide value for the price. They've also faced backlash surrounding the marketing claims for their UFO Ultra Clarifying Face Oil. Critics were unhappy with Sunday Riley as they felt the brand had misled customers regarding the effectiveness of the product, saying that its properties as an effective treatment for acne were vastly exaggerated. Many who used it said it had little to no effect on their acne, and it's not particularly surprising that they'd over-exaggerate their product effectiveness on acne, given that we already know they were having employees fake their reviews, pretending that they had acne and that this was the miracle product to heal their acne. And it's also not surprising that the brand has faced allegations of creating a toxic workplace from multiple employees, with their former head of sales, Holland Slaughter, being referred to by some as Holland the Horrible. It's worth noting that Holland is one of the managers who was responsible for the emails telling employees to write fake reviews, and he had the audacity to title one of his emails "Homework Time, Sephora.com Sales." So not only did they want them to lie, but they wanted to do this in their free time too. The whistleblower who outed the fake review scandal also screenshotted some of the company's Glassdoor reviews at the time, and they weren't positive. If you don't know what Glassdoor is where you can kind of like, I guess, anonymously review somewhere you've worked before or currently work kind of thing. It's interesting if you're looking to work somewhere. One employee said, "Very poor communication from upper management. The company is dishonest with staff, merchants, and suppliers. Working at Sunday Riley is a nightmare. Long-term employees are sheep. If you do speak out or question upper management, you will be let go." Another employee agreed with the take, saying there is no formal training program for corporate staff, company culture is non-existent, and if you disagree with the founder in any way, consider yourself out. To be fair, those reviews are from some years ago now, so I looked at some more recent ones, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to have gotten any better. One employee who posted in August of 2024 said there is nothing positive about the unprofessional behavior of the CEO and her minions. CEO is a devious manipulator. It is her way or the literal highway. And some employees have even started accusing the brand of using their fake review tactic on Glassdoor Glassdoor now to make the company sound better. With one employee citing their review, I see the fake reviews have transferred to Glassdoor before going on to say, the products are good, albeit they have a lot of quality control issues, and you are trauma bonded with your co-workers, so you at least have people to remind you you're not insane. This company is just probably the worst beauty company to work for, point blank period. Tons of bottlenecking from the CEO, who is a liar and an absent leader, who also demands final say of every small detail, even if she is unreachable for months. Incredibly toxic work environment with no structure, takes bullying to a whole new level. Please know that all these good reviews are as fake as the Sephora reviews Sunday made employees write years ago. The average was 1 star until 2 years ago. I see they never learnt their lesson. No one lasts more than a year here. No one I worked with when I joined was there when I left. This company is a horror show and should be exposed. The corruption runs so deep. Do not work here. And that seems to sum up the brand's issues pretty well. To many, the products are seen as high quality and effective, and fans of the brand praise them for their sustainable practices, their accredited cruelty-free, and their charity work. But with more controversies than I can fit into one single video, as well as a CEO and founder who has made a habit of lying to her customers, how can any of us really trust Sunday Riley, the brand, or the person?